are three constants in this world: death, taxes, and Hasan doing some dumb shit daily. Man, oh man! Let's all see what our favorite lolcow is doing today.
Back to your daily dose of drama news. In today's video, Hasan continues to slander Ethan Klein. Asmongold calls out—
Man, what a surprise. The guy who swears he's not anti-Semitic picks on a Jew every single day. Man, what a surprise. But guys, he's not anti-Semitic. Absolutely not. Sure, he may or may not own a swastika sword, but he's not anti-Semitic. He's not.
Out Hasan for playing defense for terrorist orgs. Another terrorist attack has taken place in Boulder, Colorado, and it was a guy setting people on fire with Molotovs yelling "Free Palestine." Turns out—
I'm telling you, in the next 6 months, someone's going to do that with twitch.tv/Hasanabi written on their chest. This clip will age quite well, and I hate how I know that's going to happen.
when you don't condemn terrorists and instead you support and praise them, people actually think terrorism is okay. Hasan is probably doing the boogie down challenge as we speak, you know, throwing a little party, doing the Fortnite L dance, finding 1,001 ways to play defense for this scumbag piece of shit. In other news, boxing commentator Wade Clemens has called out Idubbbz, saying he was working for free, thinking it was a charity event. Local jellyfish Lwig has responded to my video on his stream.
Wait, if he responded to Pegasus's video, that means that he saw me, and I talk hella shit. Uh-oh, this might go down in a little bit of an arena. All right, let's see what happens.
Always subscribe, tell your friends about the channel so we can stop Hamas, Diddy, Piker, and friends from brainwashing people. And let's begin with Hasan crying about Ethan. Hasan says that Ethan and Hila are gross propagandists.
I'll pull it up in a minute.
It's really crazy how Hasan just doesn't want us to help Gazans.
Oh my god. Oh, they're so gross, dude. They're such—
Oh my god. They're so gross, dude. Happy Pride Month, by the way, guys. Why the fuck is his head so small? How dare Hasan wear that fucking basketball jersey after that joke of a performance he had at that fucking basketball game, bro? He needs to take that shit off. Kobe Bryant is turning over in his grave, man. Straight up. Ain't nobody trying to see that shit, bro. What the fuck is this fuckboy seashell necklace, brother? You are 45 wearing this shit. 45 years old wearing this goofy, goober, 12-year-old skateboard necklace, man. What are we doing here?
Disgusting, genocidal propagandists. Oh my god. Oh, it's crazy how Hasan doesn't want us to help the Palestinians. Wait, did she even say Palestinians? Hold on, maybe she did.
It's really crazy how Hasan just doesn't want us to help Gazans.
Oh, she didn't even say Palestinians. She said Gazans.
Okay, bro can't even hear the clip correctly. We talked about this in one of the
Bro was trying to push a narrative so bad that he hallucinated something that Hila didn't even say, man. That's how you know someone's that far gone.
Previous episodes where Hasan will literally just hear whatever he wants and whatever makes him the most mad.
He hears things that people don't say, and then he moral grandstands this grand position that nobody was even arguing against to begin with.
Talks about Jewish heritage in the Middle East. Hasan then ignores that and argues against something Ethan didn't even say.
Hasan attempts to deny Jewish heritage in the Middle East. It characterizes them not as indigenous, but as white colonizers. This is
the Israeli heritage in the Middle East is now tarnished by, well, first of all, Israeli heritage in the Middle East. What the f is Israeli heritage in the Middle East? That
there it is.
Exist. Shut the f up.
He didn't say Israeli heritage. He said Jewish heritage.
It's
there
kind
it
of
is.
irrelevant what you even say because this guy will just cook up something in his head and get mad over it. Also, how ironic, Hasan calling Ethan a genocidal propagandist. Buddy, you just described yourself. You literally support the terrorist organizations that want precisely that. Their whole stated mission is to eliminate the Jews and use—
Yeah, but he has Free Palestine written on a scarf around his neck, and it's probably in his Twitter bio too, which absolves him of all wrongdoing, don't you know?
Support them. Also, may I point out that he has admitted that he is a propagandist on several occasions.
Just like I do propaganda.
I'm a propagandist.
Well, no.
For the record.
So the phrase genocidal propagandist is something that fits Hasan way more than it fits Ethan. Anyways, this next part, Asmongold reacts to the ADL trying to deplatform Hasan.
Hasan Piker. So the ADL says when you openly support a murderous anti-Semitic U.S. designated terrorist org calling for violence against all Jews, you minimize our fear and grief and embolden extremists. Now is the time for Twitch, YouTube, and X and all the other social media platforms to decide if their platforms or spaces to allow someone like Piker to spew hatred and pro-terrorist propaganda. The time to act is now. So do I think this is going to go anywhere? I'm going to be honest, guys. I think yes. I think that this is a bridge too far. Trying to play PR for a terrorist organization, this will be a domino effect.
Absolutely.
I don't think that... So a lot of you guys might not understand how much average companies hear the word anti-Semitism and they just freak out. They're like, oh shit, right? Like, oh no, we don't want to have anything to do with that, right?
Yep.
So the moment that they hear that and this happens, it's going to be very problematic. Dan would never. I don't think it's going to be his decision. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't. I think that if more people start talking about this, and especially if more reputable sources start talking about this, and by the way, the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL, like, I mean, the ADL, right? I mean, I don't think the ADL is that great either, but I understand that they exercise a certain power that is respected in traditional, like, mainstream media and mainstream circles, right?
I do believe that Hassan's downfall...
This is going to be something that will break mainstream news very, very, very soon. Once more news outlets understand that Twitch's top political streamer, dedicated political streamer, is constantly pushing pro-terrorist rhetoric on the daily. And it's not even an exaggeration at this point. I mean, there's not one clip, there's not 2 clips, there's not 10 clips. I mean, guys, there's hundreds, right? Calling for the death of people, calling for the death of a senator, calling for the death of humankind. Like, it's just not good. And when more news outlets pick that up, it's going to fuck the platform as a whole. It really is. And I don't know why Dan is asleep at the fucking wheel. Maybe his favorite president was Sleepy Joe, because he sure is leading the platform just like Sleepy Joe is leading the country. But it's obviously just not good for everyone involved, for the ads to get even worse for a viewer experience, as well as the monetary gain for all the streamers to acquire from.
Is coming very soon.
Maybe he's too busy gooning in the hot tub section.
Especially with the recent terrorist attack that happened in Boulder, Colorado, right? As well as the shooter yelling "Free Palestine." There is now a magnifying glass on Hassan's behavior. And you guys know that my "It's Over" titles are usually a joke. It's literally a meme I've been playing for like 8 months now. Sometimes it's real, you know, like Vitaly in Philippines getting prison time, and Johnny Somali definitely gonna be going to prison for a very long time. That's confirmed. But Hassan is like a special case, right? This guy has eluded responsibility for his actions for very long. He's like an armchair extremist, right? He doesn't actually go out and commit the violence himself, but the things he says are so obviously violent, so obviously praising violence. So it's a little bit harder to prosecute with this guy. But with
I will say, man, I've never been able to recover from looking at Vitaly the same way after I saw his dick on Bang Bus. I just really wish the content creators that I watch would just stop whipping their dicks out, man. Like, I mean, at least paywall that shit so there's less of a chance that I see that shit. That shit was weird as fuck. And that shit was bendy. That shit was bendy.
This whole series and the massive attention around Hassan right now and all of these events happening, I feel like his day is coming because he refuses to back down. Every single time, he doubles down. He plays defense for the shooters, the murderous terrorists, and I feel like it's only a matter of time.
And it's even worse because when the terrorist shot those 2 people and killed them, the chat was spamming hearts for the terrorists while they were being incarcerated. It's so bad.
You can't consistently...
Streamers need to stop letting their chat be a safe space for pushing violent rhetoric towards humankind. It's just, if that is what you are allowing your chat to get away with, then you are equally as guilty for not a one-time occasion, a multiple-time occasion. Fix your chat, moderate your chat, hire some mods. It's really not that easy. Or it's really not that hard, especially in that fucking CCV.
Get away with this. And I don't care if it takes 100 videos, but this guy needs some serious karma, bro. This guy's an absolute freak. Anyways, let's talk about the recent terrorist attack in Colorado.
An attack has occurred on a pro-Israel protest in Boulder, Colorado. Initial reports suggest Molotov cocktails were used, and there are multiple casualties, including children. According to the witnesses who spoke with CBS, the suspect attacked people walking to remember the Israeli hostage. This is not a protest, it's a peaceful walk to show solidarity with the hostages and their families, and a plea for their release, said Run for Their Lives, who organized the walk. I mean, it's unequivocally domestic terrorism, and anybody can see that. What happened? There was another terrorist attack from a anti-Israel person who threw Molotov cocktails into a peaceful protest of children and burned multiple people alive and killed them. That's what happened.
So here we have a...
We become so desensitized to all of these atrocities that happen on Earth because we play these violent video games that are just like, oh, LOL, guy went down with 5 KDA. But I want you to imagine that you have a kid, they're the love of your life, and some weird ass pasty white man sets them on fucking fire to death just because, oh God, just because of the radicalization of our citizens in the United States due to this terrorist propaganda being pushed and praised on all platforms right now. And I really do think anybody who is supporting this type of nature, like Hasan in this orbit, should be ashamed that there is a chance that their wrongdoings, their rhetoric, could push people towards this extremist behavior. And even if they didn't die, and even if they were only set on fire, oh man. Oh, well, they didn't die. They were only set on fire. Come on, guys. It's fucking terrible. He's Muhammad. He's Arabic. I have no idea. This guy looks like a white guy to me. Maybe he is. I have no idea.
Video of the guy who did the attack. Apparent video shows the suspect in the targeted terror attack holding Molotov cocktails.
We're here, brother. We're here. We can't do nothing about that.
He's spraying alcohol, but what he did was he made it look like he was here.
He's making Molotov cocktails.
Dude, what a freaking clown. Dude has completely lost his mind. He thinks that setting people on fire in America is somehow freeing Palestine. Dude.
I'm sorry, bro. If someone is walking around with a Molotov cocktail, I would just shoot him in the fucking head. It's really that easy. I hate this America we have to live in where cops have to put innocent children's lives in danger because they're afraid of getting a hate threat on Twitter and losing their job for protecting our citizens. Brother, just shoot him. This is why, like, I'll be real, guys. I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm very pro-gun. You can be anti-gun. I don't care. But all I know is when I was in Canada and nobody had guns and one guy had a gun, it was a lot easier to take down the guy when everybody had guns, right? So, like in Texas, if someone pulls out a gun here, 13 other motherfuckers are going to pull out a gun and shoot this guy first, right? I think this shit is fucking crazy, bro. I think these people just need to be fucking domed immediately.
Dude, honestly, how deluded can you actually be? How brain dead are these people? Anyways, these absolute idiots think that doing terrorism is somehow helping the cause. Like, how many Palestinians did you help by doing this?
Genuinely
you
fucking
absolute
insane.
clown. In fact, you probably detracted from the cause, but because now people are gonna associate Free Palestine with complete terror attacks and random bullshit like this.
Yep.
So here's the news report
True.
about it.
I'm able to confirm there are 6 victims, ages 67 to 88. All of them have been transported to local hospitals. This attack happened at a regularly scheduled weekly peaceful event. Witnesses are reporting that the subject used a makeshift flamethrower and threw an incendiary device into the crowd. The suspect was heard to yell, "Free Palestine," during the attack. The subject has...
Man, I want to free Palestine. How do I make it happen? I know. I'll set kids on fire. Yeah, I'm going to be real. I just feel like that just like ain't helping. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really just feel like that probably just like ain't helping. You know what I mean? Oh, you know what? This guy has a point. Oh, okay.
Has been identified as Mohammed Sabri Solomon, and he's 45 years old. The FBI is processing the crime scene and the subject vehicle and interviewing key witnesses. We're assisting Boulder Police in providing technical, analytic, and additional forensic resources. As a result of these preliminary facts, it is clear that this is a targeted act of violence, and the FBI is investigating this as an act of terrorism.
I mean, obviously, it's a targeted attack. We literally know his beliefs now. And I feel like the FBI really needs to be on top of the shit. It's crazy how this is even allowed to happen, because I can probably guess that this guy was online spouting some bullshit on his social media accounts. And the FBI needs to be more proactive in stopping these people committing their actual violence, because
if you see someone promoting pro-terrorist propaganda online, you should 1,000,000% investigate them. Straight up. Too many people are getting away with pushing violent rhetoric online, and they need to be fucking punished. It's really that easy.
If you're online, like you're on Twitter, and you're threatening to kill people, you know, you need to be on a list. You need to be monitored, right?
Absolutely.
That's just basic things the FBI needs to do to protect people. And I feel like recently...
And if content creators are saying violent rhetoric online, they need to be punished severely. They do. I 1,000,000% deserved my ban when I encouraged a chatter to kill themselves. I absolutely did, right? But I think we all know there's a big difference between saying kill yourself and saying, hey guys, these usernames and full names and addresses are really easy to find online, and getting a gun is easier than ever. Calling for the death of someone and organizing that to your viewers is way different than a streamer saying kill yourself. And none of that ever gets punished. Ever. None of that ever gets punished.
There's been this surge of people advocating open violence.
Oh, and to be fair, ever since I got punished, I stopped saying that shit, right? Because it was irresponsible of me as a streamer to do that. And I accept my ban.
Thanks to some people, you know, some particular Twitch streamers radicalizing the absolute shit out of regular people, you know, threatening to kill senators himself.
Yep.
Obviously, people are going to start thinking this type of stuff is okay
Oh,
because
yeah.
they get brainwashed by people like Hasan.
Yes,
also,
sir.
can I just say, throwing away your life at 45 is crazy. I mean, enjoy the rest of your life in prison. You
Same age
absolute
as
loser.
Hasan.
Also, he just looks like completely unemployed, bro. Holy shit. That's like the caricature of unemployed. Anyways, Asmongold tried to message the FBI, but their DMs were closed, so he just started tweeting at them.
Yep.
Basically, here we have the FBI director, and he says, we're aware of and fully investigating a targeted terror attack in Colorado. Our agents and local law enforcement are on the scene already, and we'll share updates as more information becomes available. At FBI, bro's targeting it. Bro's like adding his own agency, dog. Ain't no way.
Y'all really need to get on top of some of these people online. They promote this shit and there's nothing ever happens.
Yep.
Hell, more online censorship? This isn't, guys, this is not more online censorship.
Guys, I'll also be real. I know everyone will say, oh, don't censor me, don't censor me. Why would we not censor people who are calling for the death of innocent civilians online? Why would we not censor people trying to coordinate terrorist propaganda? Like, is that really so bad? It deserves to get censored. They're putting people's lives at risk. Even more so, they're killing people. We're attempting to prevent tragedies here. It's really not that big of a deal.
Was never acceptable to make.
Censorship implies denying free speech. Dangerous speech isn't protected. Yeah, 100%. Yet so many streamers get away with this shit, and so many people on the internet get away with this shit.
Calls for violence and to promote terror organizations. This is not, guys, this is not censorship. This is the law. I don't want any new rules. All I want is the existing rules to be applied fairly to the people that are obviously breaking them.
Bro.
I told him to say that. Based.
This isn't censorship. Was that like a Hasan chatter just coming into Asmongold's chat there? Because what kind of...
Of course it is. Of course it is. They say, oh, you want to ban Hasan. You're pro-censorship. They will find any way to twist your arguments whatsoever. It's like, no, we just want people to be safe in America. Is that really that bad of a thing?
The idiot actually thinks that
Stupid
following the
as
law
shit.
and applying the rules fairly is censorship. You're literally not allowed to make calls for violence. That is actually not allowed. That is the exception to the free speech rule. Because, you know, if you're threatening violence or threatening that you're actually going to do something, it can result in actual violence, and that needs to be stopped, right? Also, you're not allowed to push terrorist propaganda. That is literally against the law because that is dangerous for the citizens. I don't know why Hasan hasn't been prosecuted yet. Probably they're busy with some other shit.
Because he's so handsome.
I don't know. I mean, he did get questioned, apparently. I feel like if you're...
Yeah, where are the tapes, by the way? I can't wait to see his 8-minute talk with the security guard on how it was actually 2 hours and he felt scared for his life. Yeah, man, I know. Hey, what are you doing here today? Oh, okay, cool. Oh, you do politics? Oh, great. You like Trump? You're making me fear for my life? Am I detained? Can I leave? Can I leave? Hello, sir. Welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order? Excuse me? May I leave? I did not consent to this conversation. Holy fuck.
Supporting terrorist organizations that are designated as an enemy but by America. That means you are an enemy of the country, no? That is literally what it means.
Yep.
And I'm just saying, there's plenty of other countries outside America where if you try to do this shit, you would be deported. You would be jailed.
Yes,
You're
sir.
not allowed to say this type of shit. Now, Asmon talks about the role platforms play in moderating this type of extremist language.
I think Reddit and Twitter are probably the two worst places for this type of radicalism. The
4chan's worse. Come on.
FBI needs to be, and TikTok. Yeah, TikTok's another one too. You're right. Twitch. I mean, Twitch is really just pretty much. I mean, it's centered entirely around Hasan, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like that's. Let's be honest, right? I do think that the FBI needs to look into a lot of these people that are advocating for violence and pushing for violence.
Absolutely, 100%.
Because I think that it's all over these platforms.
I think if a streamer gets upset at what he just said, it is a massive fucking self-report.
It's not like it's something that's like just stated offhandedly or whatever. It's everywhere. And I'm not talking about somebody who's like saying, I hate Israel, f*** Israel. I'm saying somebody who's saying we should burn Israelis. You know, Israelis deserve to suffer for this. You know, like if you punch somebody like this or you hurt them, it's okay. Like there are so many overt calls for violence that are happening on social media right now that I don't even think that we need to get into the gray areas, because there are so many black and white examples right now.
True.
And nothing is happening to these people and there's no consequences for it. The websites aren't moderating it.
It's because everybody's horrified of doing anything because these people are going to bitch about free speech. Yeah, these authority figures and these moderators of these platforms are not banning these people for pushing these agendas. You want to know why? Because they fucking agree with them. And that's the bottom line.
It, and they're just letting these people run wild. I mean, really, like whenever you see Hasan reading the Israeli Shooters Manifesto, and the chat, his sub-only chat in emote-only mode is spamming his emote for being subscribed to him, and it's a heart emote.
Yep.
And as far as I know, these people probably never got banned.
Yep.
There's nothing that ever. I don't know, like, do they still have their account?
If you are keeping your chat as a safe space for people to show love to terrorists and you don't ban them, it's because you agree with them, Hasan.
No, actually, they have their account and they get invited to the next Diddy party with Hasan.
Yep.
In fact, if you're a girl and you want to get in bed with Hasan, just tell him that you love terrorists. Just tell him that you're really anti-Semitic. That's like Viagra for him. But anyways, I completely agree. These people are psychos. If you're tweeting you want to literally murder people, then yeah, I don't think it's too crazy that the FBI show up at your house or at least ask you a few questions. Somebody needs to be tailing you and watching you so you don't go and pull some shit like this shirtless guy did or whatever. And you might think I'm extreme for this, but I think Hasan deserves a visit too, okay? I feel like he is way too comfortable skirting the line with the shit, okay? He is not following the law, all right? Let's just say that. Then Asmund talks about if people like Hasan deserve consequences too.
Do you think there should be consequences for leftist influencers fueling this extremism? I think that if you are promoting and providing a platform for this type of extremism, then yeah, I do think so. I don't think that being anti-Israel is obviously, right? Like, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Israel. I'm just an even smaller fan of burning people alive that support Israel.
Yeah, I'm not actually a fan of burning people alive either, believe it or not. Also, this emote is hilarious. This is how to free Palestine. Peaceful Molotovs. Dude, that is actually exactly what Hasan would say, unironically. Idubbbz would probably say those were empty.
He would say the burning of the children, the elderly, was clipped out of context and we don't know the full story. And then pivot to somehow make it all about Ethan Klein.
Pathetic Molotovs. Also, there is no way they can still claim they're the good guys. We're burning people alive with Molotovs. Look at us, guys. We're so cool. These people are like, we're anti-Israel. We're so awesome. Like, yeah, you can be anti-Israel without literally killing people. At that point, you're way worse than anyone you're trying to criticize.
True.
Like, nobody's stopping you from having all sorts of different...
It's like all these people put free Palestine in their fucking Twitter bio and then they type Hail Hitler. And they're like, well... he is pro-Palestine, though, so maybe he's not all bad. It's like, brother, that does not absolve you of your wrongdoing. Just because you think you have a noble cause does not mean that you can get away with hurting civilians.
Opinions. Obviously, everyone is very emotional over this whole conflict, and you're free to support any side you think you see as fit and all that. Maybe you have certain religious beliefs, maybe you have family members on one side. Obviously, you can be swayed any way or the other. But the second it gets violent and you're actually inflicting harm upon civilians, then you're classified as a terrorist and nobody has any sympathy for you anymore. And yeah, people like Hasan who radicalize people need to be stopped because he is like the starting seed which leads into all this bullshit.
The problem is that he romanticizes the fuck out of the idea to where if you have a terrorist on your stream and you compare them to Monkey D. Luffy and you're a fan of Hasan, you're like, wow, I really hope Hasan will interview me one day. This guy interviewed a terrorist and he called him Monkey D. Luffy. That's so cool. My favorite political streamer. How do I get him to notice me? Oh, I know. I'll go set fire to an orphanage. It's like, okay, well, maybe we don't give people these ideas. Yeah, you know who I'm going to bring on stream as a special guest? A guy who's killed people for fun. Yeah, I don't know about that one, man.
Anyways, let's move on to Wade Plemons, the boxing commentator. You might remember him from the KSI saga when KSI was just melting down over the slightest criticism from him. And yeah, he's like a pretty nice guy, and he's talking about Idubbbz here. Former Creator Clash commentator Wade says he worked for free thinking it was a charity event.
Well, it's a charity event. Stop telling people that because it's not what it is. That was the whole issue with the lack of communication behind number 1 and 2. That it's a charity event, charity event, charity event. It's not a charity event. It's a boxing event that you are perpendicularly associating with a separate charity that has nothing to do with people buying the boxing event. I was a part of the event and didn't know any of this. I didn't know where money is going outside of
34% to Ian and Anissa. Yep. That was Anissa's requirement for Idubbbz to sit in the cuck chair and jerk off to her while Hasan fucks her. Yeah, well, I want 34% of the proceeds, baby, and you'll let me jerk off to it, right? Yeah, I guess, but don't make eye contact with me. It's just so pathetic.
the fact that I was offered and said, no, I'm all good on that. I want to be there to support, and because they gave me an opportunity. A friend made a video accusing H3, the guy we watched yesterday, of abusing his kids. What the are we talking about? And then CPS came to his house, also collaborated with very far left content creators in his video about Ethan, which made many of the fighters on the...
I wouldn't say some far left content creators. I would say the furthest left possible. Like that shit, like the furthest left, whatever that's at. You know what it's like? It's like Saitama's power scaling. That's what Hasan's political views are. Is whenever anybody gets close to being as left as him, he infinitely scales above it, ×3. It's you'll never be more far left. I mean, I'll be real. Like at this point, Hasan is getting to the point of far left where he's probably working on a genetic device to resurrect Osama bin Laden so he can suck his dick and share his seed with the rest of the world. That's where we're at in Big 2025.
The card feel like participating in the event was an endorsement of those extreme beliefs, supporting Hamas, saying America deserved 9/11. What the f?
Dude,
yep.
I like how when regular people learn about the situation, they're just like, what the heck is this? You know,
yep.
Like that was pretty much all of our reactions as well to Hasan and friends and the whole content cop. But anyways,
Jesus, can we just put a fucking jump scare warning? Why the fuck is Jabba the Hutt still here, bro? How does she find her way in every video I react to? Good Lord. Thank God I finished eating.
A little confused about the situation, so another open invitation to Wade or anybody else. Just watch the saga start to finish. If you're curious, you can catch up with all the misdeeds of all these absolute freaks, documented by myself, rated 4.99999 stars by Gordon Ramsay himself, the connoisseur of slop. Now let's move on to Lwig. Basically, a couple videos ago, I criticized Lwig for defending Idubbbz taking 34% from a charity. I thought it was pretty scummy, and essentially snaking a charity event and just...
Did he see my clip? Did he perhaps see my clip maybe? I wonder.
Not disclosing it to anybody because people thought their ticket money was going to charity when it was not, and Lwig was defending that. But anyways, one of you guys messaged me on Instagram, told me that he responded to my video, or at least dodged any response to my video.
More Pegasus is chatting shit, bro. Check his VOD. That's the Mr. Beast guy, yeah?
The Mr. Beast.
Oh, here we go. Oh, he talked about Mr. Beast for too long, which means his opinion is invalid. Oh, I didn't realize there was like a lifespan on how long you can talk about somebody fucking up. Yeah, I didn't realize there was an expiration date. My bad, Lwig. I'll check the expiration date next time.
This guy? Okay, that's it.
Goddamn jellyfish, a goofy goober. Fucking streaming from Weenie Hut General. Not even super Weenie Hut General.
Now we have beef. Now I'm making 16 videos on Lwig. It's over. It's done. Finally over. Finally finished. He's cooked. I will not tolerate the slander, even if it's completely true. The fact is that
you can't shit talk me, even though it's 100% accurate. Yeah, stand on business, brother. Get his ass.
Yesterday's news, now I'm referred to as the Hasan guy. So please refer to me by that name. But he's never mentioning Hasan, let's be honest.
That's the Mr. Beast guy, yeah? Dude, I'm so good. I actually am zero offended at all that he made a video. I hope the video does great and he makes hella bread off of it.
Hell yeah.
but there's a reason I don't do mogul mails, man. I'm good off that crowd because they don't actually care at all about any.
Well, while I agree there are some commentary channels that do not give a fuck about the truth whatsoever and will only push an agenda that equates to them getting more views, especially, guys, if you've seen the Tectone bad propaganda in 2025, it is insane with how many lies have been pushed against me with zero proofs whatsoever other than, well, this person was really sad, so I believe them. And I don't like this guy because he's ugly, so I don't believe him, which means he's lying. Don't get me wrong. I understand this perspective 1,000,000%. But to discredit every slop tuber is insane, especially people like Sensitive Society and more Pegasus, who at least do their due diligence and bring in relatable clips with context to actually paint a story and not push a narrative.
Anything. They don't give a shit. They just like chat and shit.
Okay, first off,
Lwig, you said a guy taking 34% of the proceeds to a charity wasn't scamming their audience. Just admit that you fucked up. It's really that easy.
Kind of true. I usually don't care about pointless drama and I just move on with my day. I just talk about things for fun usually, and I like making fun of idiots. But recently with this whole Hasan drama, I'm not too sure because this guy is doing like actual real life damage, and I do feel strongly about it, right? I do care at least a little that this guy is causing legitimate harm. He's radicalizing people, promoting terrorists so much, and he's just like a vile person. And I feel like the climate is so extreme now that people are feeling emboldened to go and commit terrorist attacks. And this guy's out here like playing defense for a shooter. I mean, I'm very passionate about that type of stuff, right? I feel like it would be kind of hard to fake that, you know, like being passionate and making 30 videos daily. Obviously I do care about these things a lot, and I actually do feel a good sense of purpose, like not just entertaining people, but the fact that I'm doing a good thing by exposing these clowns and preventing other people from getting brainwashed into his cult, because when they watch one of my videos, they can see how much of a complete scumbag, hypocrite, piece of shit, lying piece of shit he is, slanderous piece of shit. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. But yeah, the thing is, even if one of his cult members watches one of my videos and they finally see the light and become a normal person after that, that's a very positive impact in the world, and I'm very proud of that. And obviously, I was pretty invested in Idubbbz as well. He used to do the content jobs.
Absolutely, brother.
He's definitely part of the whole Hasan story. That's why I talked about him as well. And of course, Lwig isn't nearly as bad. He isn't that bad at all. I've said this. His worst crime is just being spineless, right? And bending over.
Yeah, he's spineless and he's dumb. Yeah, it's not even comparable to Hasan, 100%.
Backwards for Hasan, which is funny, but I'm not going to compare him to someone like Idubbbz or Denims or Fro.
Can you just stop?
Or any of these actual vile pieces of shit, right? And I do appreciate that Lwig
just stop
said, you know,
putting
he
her on
doesn't
my
mind
screen.
the videos.
Great, now my fucking computer's heating up. We're having to load that entire fucking model. Extinguisher so I can fucking put out the flames, trying to load all that shit. Jesus Christ.
Is you know, he knows the game, he knows the grind. It's just part of YouTube, and yeah, I guess I did need a topic for that day, but I was passionate about it. All right,
the creator just like has to make he makes a video what fucking every day or some shit. So it's like, what is the headline? What can I make a video about for 20 minutes to fucking make 5K, 3K, whatever it is?
No way Lwig is talking about money, bro. You're worth like $20 million. Calm down. Also, bro just leaked his own
Bro wants to make money. This is so fucked up.
Income. Okay, I'm not earning 5K a day. What are you, smoking crack? What match did he actually do there? 200K views equals $5,000. $25 CPM. Bro, not even finance channels get that shit.
Yep.
But yeah, 5K a day would mean
Average, I think average payment is like what? Somewhere between 178 and 349.
times 30, which is 150K a month, times 12, that's 1.8 million. So like nearly $2 million a year. And I'm 7 years on YouTube. That would make me worth $14 million. Bro, I want whatever drugs he's on. Spoilers, guys. Unfortunately, I'm not that rich. But obviously, I'm not complaining. I got the best job in the world. Obviously, every kid's dream. And I'm very well off, as I've said multiple times before. Retired, chilling, never have to work again. Thanks to you guys. I choose to work every day, though, because it's still fun. And what the hell would I do? Play video games all day? Go back to League of Legends? Hell no, bro. The only reason I like being well off is that I can buy the extra expensive $6 strawberries at the store without feeling guilty about it.
Oh my God. Guys, if you have a local HEB near you, Go and get the green seedless grapes from H-E-B. They will change your fucking life. And if you're trying to lose some weight, bro, go on Amazon and order you some non-caffeinated frog fuel. That shit is insane, I'm telling you. Or if you're a bit of a sweet tooth, get some cotton candy grapes. God damn, that shit is fire, bro. But I'll be real, I eat like I'm broke these days. It actually is quite nice. I go grocery shopping. Ugh, I know. I used to be living the good life, door dashing every single day, dropping $80, $90 a day on Chipotle and Chick-fil-A. But now I go to the grocery store, drop $80, and I make food for the week. I know. Ugh, God. Jesus. Real life responsibilities. A fate worse than death. Truly is a fucking shame. And here's the worst part. I fired my maids. So I clean myself, hence why I have this collection of cups. But I'm telling you, one day I will go pick them up. Today is just not that day, okay? I'm a busy guy. I have to stream on all 4 platforms. By the way, follow me on Twitch, subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Kick, follow me on Twitter. Thank you all. I appreciate that shit.
Dude, they're so sweet and juicy. I can't buy the shitty cheap strawberries, bro. I can't do it. But anyways, I'm so tired of these people acting like, oh, does he make like a video every day or something? Don't act like you don't watch the saga. Everybody is a fan, okay? Like I click on a random video in the middle of nowhere, I'm being randomly mentioned. Jump scare. So I have absolutely no doubt everybody is watching the greatest series on planet Earth, and Lwig is secretly happy that I'm calling out that piece of shit Hasan, okay?
Yep.
Because he doesn't have the guts to, all right? So don't worry, bro. I'll do you.
I will say, it is so nice seeing someone that you like call out your friend that you know needs calling out so you don't need to do it yourself. The problem is when that friend gets called out by that person because they're a smaller content creator, then they turn it against you because they're schizo. That's always a shame. Yeah, it's definitely a big L moment, but it is what it is.
Your job. I'll do your job. Mr. Journalist degree. Also, I'm memeing, guys. Come on.
And then the viewers doesn't really care. Like for the most part, drama frogs are about as passionate for a subject as the amount of time they spend watching it. And then the moment they stop watching, they couldn't care less. Because why the f would you care? You got a whole life to lead. It's just some like 20-minute thing to be a little haughty about and then be like, all right. I'm gonna go watch the Knicks play.
I ain't gonna lie, he low-key spitting a little bit, but here's the difference. I'm not a drama consumer. I am now a drama conduit. I will now create that very same drama, and here's the thing. I never move on. Absolutely not.
Oh, like, why am I gonna be offended? I hope the video bangs. I'll be flattered if it does.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. This is such a based way to respond, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, straight up. Like, Lwig may be spineless, but bro farmed hella aura off this response. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Like, damn.
Yeah, that's very sweet. Honestly, Lwig is pretty chill and a generally likable guy. Whenever he's not doing some cringe pandering bullshit, right? So
true.
I think we'd get along great. You know, I think he's pretty cool. He's horrible at League of Legends though. Platinum, keep seeing his platinum. He's so dog shit, bro. I basically just said my opinion because he had a dumb take about charity. And personally, I think charity should be pretty selfless and not a scummy like business thing where you're trying to make more money. I appreciate that he didn't actually take it too harshly. But anyways, click this video or a mentally ill Hasan fan shows up at your door at 3 a.m.
Oh God, not again. Great video.
Thanks for watching.
I will say though, even though Lwig does pander quite hard, he's not nearly being as bad as Baby No Money. I mean, Jesus, Baby No Backbone. That's just fucking embarrassing. Anyways, great video. Like, comment, subscribe. I linked y'all the channel and more packages. Great fucking dude, great guy. Go support his channel. Appreciate y'all. Peace.